want to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadesh, double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone that taught me this truth. This is Psalms 23, verse 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And America, Babylon the Great, is truly that valley of the shadow of death, especially for the Hebrew Israelites. Alright. This was I'm gonna call this one a hero's reward.
Man who was a hero. He disarmed the bad man. Okay? He disarms the bad man. And cops come in and they shoot the good guy. Let's put up a picture of Mr. Quan Green. This is such a sad story. This is a man in California. He was at a California restaurant. He just disarmed a gunman after a scuffle. He was shot by the police while his back was turned. He was shot multiple times by a San Jose officer. Quan Green and his friends were eating at La Victoria in San Jose.
Alright, so it say he was shot while disarming a suspect. Alright, this is Ezekiel, the 35th chapter, and I'm going to start at the 5th verse. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, at the time that their iniquity had an end. Alright, because after slavery, that should have been it. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut from it him that passes out, and him that returneth. Alright, and Mount Seir, we now know that's was in Edom. Right, and I will fill his mountains with his slain men, in the hills, in the valleys, in the rivers, and should they fall that are slain with the sword. Alright, so that's going into them nukes. I will make thee a perpetual desolation, and the city should not return, and ye should know that I am the Lord. Alright, and that's why these Edomites got to pay for what they did. Alright, because thou hast said, these two nations, these two countries should be mine, and will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Alright, and that's going into the northern and southern kingdom. So-called blacks, so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans. Alright, they have said these two nations are theirs. Alright, therefore, as I live, said the Lord Yahweh, I will even do according to thy anger and according to thy envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. So this is the Lord saying he's going to make himself known by the judgment he passed on Edom. And this is one of the reasons, all right? So this man disarms a gunman, and he gets shot.
27th is when this happened. A man came in, threatened everybody. His attorney, Dante Pointer, said, the man left the restaurant and returned with two others, and a spat ensued, right? Let's put up a picture of the altercation, okay? Now you see, that's an altercation, right? One of the other men pulled out a gun. According to multiple reports, Green's attorney said his client was defending himself and tried to take the gun away during the incident. You see that clearly, all right? Green, who is a community football player, tried to shield everyone from further disaster and is hailing him a hero, okay? At one point, the clip fell out of the gun. The attorney said Green put the clip back in, but he never pointed it at anyone. So what you see here is a young man who sprang into action to defend himself and others, and was backing away, creating space between he and the gunman who was trying to take the gun back from him, trying to de-escalate the situation. So let's show another picture. This is Green backing away. He's the hero. He's protected people. He has disarmed the bad guy. Green was backing out of the restaurant, away from the fight, when police, already about 800 feet away, responding to a homicide, opened fire on him, the 20-year-old. The 20-year-old was shot multiple times in the abdomen, the leg, and arm. The attorney said his client did not even know that the police were on the scene, and they plan to file a civil suit against the department. The police never gave any orders. Check this out, okay? The police never gave any orders until he got to the door. No one knew the police were outside. He was a peacemaker, Pointer said. He was backing out the door, and at the time the police said, drop the gun, and not even 2 seconds later, he was shot. He was never given the time to recognize the police. He was never given the time to drop the gun, and he was the hero. Put up the picture of this hero again. See, this is what happens when you are a black hero in America.
All right. This is Genesis 25, verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord of his wife because she was barren. And the Lord was intrigued of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. All right. And the children struggled together within her womb, within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manners of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. All right. So this is letting you know it was 2 different types of people. All right. Jacob and Esau. All right. Going back to the reincarnation of Cain and Abel. All right. It's 2 nations in the womb, 2 different manners of people. All right. Now we're gonna skip over to, I think it's it's Micah chapter 4, verse 1. And the 2 nations is why our people haven't never been able to get along with each other. All right. But this is the reward for being a hero in Babylon the Great. All right. For being a hero in the Edomite kingdom. All right. This is your reward. All right. But the Lord got a better reward. And we're going to read about it before I end this video. This is Micah chapter 4. And I'm just start at the top. But in the last days shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord should be established. And that's going into the government of the kingdom of Israel, New Jerusalem, right? It's established in the top of the mountains, and it should be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. And many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of Yahweh of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his path. For the Lord shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. So it's all into all the military weapons, they're gonna get rid of them. Ain't gonna be no nukes, tanks, fighters, and things like that in that day. And nation should not lift up a sword against nation, neither should they learn war anymore. But they should sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, every man in their own land. And none should make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken. So It's letting you know that when the kingdom of heaven come, everyone is going to be doing better, all right? Because we have been on put these Edomites back under control, all right? This is Psalms chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 7. I will declare the decree. The Lord has said unto me, Thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. All right. Answer me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance, in the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. And thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, and thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Be wise now, therefore, O kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. So this is letting you know that Israel is going to rule over these other nations. And we won't be getting depressed, by Edom like we is now. All right? Because we are going to be back in control. And things like this will not take place in the kingdom, right? This is Revelations chapter 2, and I'm going to read verse 26. And he that overcome and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter should they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. And I will give him the morning star. All right. So, you make it through to the end, the Lord is going to give us the kingdom. All right. So this is what we looking forward to, and what we hope to make it to. All right. Because even though no matter what it looks like now, the Lord is going to turn everything around. Right. This is Revelations chapter 21, verse 2. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Yahweh out of heaven. And when you say the Lord's Prayer, as in heaven on earth, this is what John talking about. Prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And as I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of Yahweh is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and Yahweh shall be with them and be their God. Alright? So this is letting you know that everything is gonna get better. Alright, but right now, this is not our risk. So there's no reward for Jake. Even when you do the right thing, you get punished. And then of course we know no one gets punished being innocent. So even this was a judgment for some. We might not know exactly what it is, but no innocent people are punished. And with that, I'm gonna say shalom.